I don't know if it's 2025 is going to be the year where we actually nail AI agents, because there's a lot of complexity into doing that and a lot of processing power needed as well. And then they need to have some level of freedom, right? They need to have goals as well. And they need to understand and move across multiple tools to actually do a task or a multitask, right? For example, if you want like an AI agent to book you a plane ticket, that AI agent needs to first have your credentials, know about you, know exactly what he needs to do, need to be able to go maybe to one website to run all this, to check all the routes, and then go to the airline website and then buy that ticket using your credit card or something on your behalf, and then send you the details. So there's a lot of steps into this process, and in this AI agent needs to have access to all of that. On today's show, we want to explore what we believe will happen in 2025 in regards to AI development. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. I'm Daniel,
I'm Matheus.
and this is the Human AI Experience. Just a side note, we're recording this episode before the last week of 2025. So if something happens between this week, we were not aware of it. So bear in mind that we're just looking into the predictions, what we think it will happen in 2025 in regards to AI. So anything that happened in that last week, we're not covering it because we all need holidays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to our predictions of AI in 2025. I think we're going to see in 2025 a lot more AI agents. In 2024, there has been a lot of talks about AI agents, but we haven't seen anything really, really good. But in 2025, I think that technology is going to evolve and grow, and we'll see what people actually mean when they mention AI agents.
And I think there's a report from Deloitte. They predict that 25% of the companies they're gonna use and they're gonna deploy AI agents. So the idea is to have like minimal intervention, human intervention in these tasks. So it's a quite interesting prediction. What do you think? Do you think it's gonna happen like that?
I think we might have something close to that. I don't know if it's 2025 is going to be the year where we actually nail AI agents, because there's a lot of complexity into doing that and a lot of processing power needed as well. And then they need to have some level of freedom, right? They need to have goals as well. And they need to understand and move across multiple tools to actually, you know, do a task or a multitask, right? For example, if you want like an AI agent to book you a plane ticket, that AI agent needs to go first, have your credentials, know about you, know exactly what he needs to do, need to be able to go maybe to one website to run all this, to check all the routes, and then go to the airline website and then buy that ticket using your credit card or something on your behalf, and then send you the details. So there's a lot of steps into this process, and then you also, this AI agent needs to have access to all of that. So there's complexity to that. I think there's a lot of companies working in that, and I think we're going to see progress. I don't know if we're going to be able to say that we will have AI agents, but we're that definitely is gonna, it's gonna evolve, and I'm really interesting to see how it will evolve.
In my opinion, I think we are. It's not a prediction for 25 in my point of view. Like I feel that there's more marketing saying that they will be more autonomous and stuff. Um, but I feel that is not something that is happening like the next year. Maybe 5 years or something like that. Because there's many things that we need actually. As I said, like there's so many. complex tasks, and decisions that need to be done by an AI agent to complete the task, like that, like the plane ticket task that you mentioned. So I don't feel that we,
For example,
yeah,
the Rabbit AI, that device,
yeah,
they were faking this AI agent behavior. And the in under the hood, what they were doing, and because of a limitation of lack of APIs from different tools to allow for AI or third-party agents to, uh, connect to their services without using their websites or their tools, they kind of have to hack that way in. So, for example, there was a virtual machine running, let's say Spotify, and then this automated machine was clicking to select songs for it to play, and it was streamed to that device.
yeah,
So that's a huge hack to get to the agent behavior, right? So for that thing to happen, then Spotify needs to release an API that allows for another tool to look into that, play music, save things, and then do that automatically.
yeah.
And that's not there. It's not in place at it. That's why I think it might take a little longer. But it seems that we're heading that way.
Yeah, yeah, maybe simple tasks, for example, as playing music and stuff like that. That we already have a similar technology as Alexa, or even probably if I say "Hey Alexa," every a lot of Alexas are gonna turn it on. Sorry, sorry for that. It's "Hey Google," isn't it? So, no, I'm just joking, but I feel that this maybe these small tasks they can be the things that we're gonna start seeing in 25. But more complex tasks, I think you're gonna need to wait a little bit more. So let's go to the next topic.
So let's talk a little bit about the economic impact of AI. So it's already have an impact on the economy, but there's a prediction that AI driven automation will increase productivity while introducing new job roles. For example, prompting engineers, which we've seen some already being recruited, and also AI auditors. So people that will make sure, I don't know if it's going to be related to necessarily regulation. So they will just go and audit your AI tools and make sure they are attending regulation standards, or if that's going to be more into audit a company and see how can you automate the company. I think it's gonna go both ways.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that you're right. We're probably gonna have both ways. Like some people checking it if AI is running through some regulations, through some rules, and following standards. And definitely it's gonna have like some, but maybe it's not auditors. Maybe we're gonna have like AI consultants more. It's gonna become more common to have this role, I think, in the companies, or to hire a company to do this job. And I think prompt engineers is already happening, isn't it? There's a guy that I know that he had a video production company, and now he just sold his part of this company, and now he's actually creating AI videos, like AI clips and AI movies, only with prompts. So he became a prompt engineer somehow, with all his knowledge. So he's just selling AI stuff. Which for me is a big move in the market, because this guy is a really big player.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see more disruption as well in regards to companies automatizing a lot of their processes. We covered that uh, in our some of our first episodes in the beginning of the last year about Klarna, and by reducing costs by automating their marketing initiatives. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, like big companies in the news because they streamline or introduced AI into some of their processes and saved millions. Of course, all of that has a cost, which is probably going to be more job losses, more layoffs, and how that will impact the economy. It's still up to, we don't know how that's gonna, what's the impact it will have. So the next one is about ethics and governance. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think we already talked about that in the previous episodes. We talked with Isa about the regulations and the ethical part of it. So I feel in this year we're gonna have more regulations. I think EU in 24 they already go forward. Like regulating many of the aspects of the AIs and everything in technology. So I feel that many other companies are gonna copy this model or even base their own regulations in EU model. So I hope actually to see more regulation and controlling a little bit, because there's always this concern of AI become the next Terminator, you know. So I feel that we need regulation. I think we need more data privacy, algorithm transparency, and less bias issues. So these kind of things, regulation can help. To control and to make it more clear.
I agree. And I think we're going to see in 2025 more initiatives towards different governments. We've seen already this happening in 2024, and hopefully it will increase, and then there will be more awareness around regulating this technology. Especially because there is bigger risks involved with that, with this, like deep fakes, like very elaborated scams that we're just not ready for it. And if we don't do something about it, really bad things will happen. And so let's try to be at least once a bit more proactive and not reactive, just reactive.
So the next topic
All right.
is about infrastructure for AI. So we're seeing like a lot of investments being put in this big techs, IBM, Amazon, Oracle, Microsoft, OpenAI. Many of them they are raising a lot of money, and they're burning a lot of money to train AIs and to and using a lot of energy to do that this process. So we're gonna need more buildings to storage all this information, and there's a concern of the price of energy. Not only the price of energy, but the amount of energy that's been used in this. So I think there's a demand of infrastructure in these both senses. Like in especially in energy, that I'm concerned actually with the rise of the energy consumption. So what do you think about that? What do you think is going to be the future next year of infrastructure in AI?
Well, I mean, the way this industry is growing, there's going to be a lot of demand for that. And we're already seeing, I think it was Meta that just made an offer to just buy a lot of NVIDIA chips production, and to the point that NVIDIA cannot keep up. So they will have to expand to meet Meta's demand, and Meta is just only one player demanding from all of that.
Yeah.
I've heard also the news that Apple is working with another company to try to start building their own AI chips. Then, besides the energy consumption, there's also the data or the cloud infrastructure that is needed for all these
Yeah.
models to run. And so I can see that there's going to be a lot more investments into is expanding data centers and servers and cloud solutions
Yeah.
for these models to run. So definitely it's going to increase, and then with that the investments as well.
And I think it can slow down a bit the process and the innovations like run by AI. Like
I think the cap there is, it's not just, I don't think money is the problem, because those companies are just raising so much money, unprecedented from historical reasons. So during the pandemic, there was a lot of companies that couldn't keep up with the chip production, because people couldn't be in the factories. There was the production of chip production globally slowed down, and it took almost a year or almost 2 years to regain the same level of pre-pandemic times. And I think that the same, we might reach like a bottleneck where we cannot keep up with the production and the demand of producing new AI chips.
And there's always the market price. If there's a lot of demand and you cannot produce them to reach the demand, the prices go. It raises the prices. So I feel
True.
that's gonna happen. Like if every company is demanding from Nvidia a lot of chips and a lot of GPUs, we might feel this price raise. So there's a lot of another concern about the next year. So let's see.
Next topic is basically AI expanding from, or start running locally on smartphones and in some PCs. So generative AI is just not limited to enterprise use, right? It's growing more popular, and people are using it more frequently. And there's some data predicting that 30% of smartphones and 50% of PCs will be built with generative AI processing power next year or 2025.
Yeah, I feel that's quite interesting, and I think there's a movement that is gonna raise. I think it started with Apple when they released this partnership with OpenAI. So I feel that it's just gonna raise this 25. Like many other companies, they're gonna do their own AI, or even they're gonna partner with other companies to build in the smartphones and mobiles and all this AI. So I feel that's gonna happen more often, and the potential is really good. Like for example, if you are in a foreign country that you don't know the language, so maybe you can use it as a translator in real time, this kind of things. So I feel that there's many other things and advantages of using AI in the mobile. So that's an interesting thing to see for the next year.
So the next topic is around, of course, automation and robots. And we saw this big Tesla presentation with the Tesla bot, and I've seen this year, I think in 2024, a lot of evolution of robotics. So there's a lot of companies working with that, and AI, generative AI, and large language models are actually speeding up the process of creating these robots, because all of a sudden it seems that they can understand language, they can talk back to you. So this is becoming a little, it is grow the evolution of this humanoid robots are growing quite fast.
Yeah, especially Elon Musk robot. So you buy a robot and then you hire someone to use the robot for you. So that's an evolution. So I feel that,
And maybe in 2025, it's not going to be a team of people. It's going to be only one
yeah,
person controlling the
exactly.
robot.
So, no, but I feel that robots are still, yeah, we have some robots. I have seen some Chinese robots that they're kind of super autonomous and stuff. So let's see. That's an interesting prediction. I still feel that it's a bit early for us to have robots at home, in other tasks and stuff. But I have seen like I don't know if you have seen that video, but it's a ball, like a small ball, like that. It's kind of runs. towards robbers, and around it's it's literally a box, a metal box that is the size of a half of a human. So it goes around, and then it's kind of as a surveillance system. So there's always watching people on the streets and stuff. So if
A Chinese
yeah,
robot wheel, right? It's
yeah,
like a big wheel that just goes and yeah, I've
and
seen
grabs
that.
people. So
It's
that's
insane.
interesting, you know. So maybe this kind of robots of surveillance robots, war robots. So maybe this is one technology that we're gonna see more often the next year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, and I think okay, more wheel robots, a Will Smith robot.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't think that we're gonna have like maybe some industries they're gonna be using more robots, and I feel that that's an interesting uh, point of view. I think this year there is a company in Korea that they automatize 100% of the. They don't have any employees. They only have machines doing stuff. You know? So maybe we're gonna see a rise of this kind of technologies in industry. So that's gonna be interesting to see next year.
I think so. I think it's gonna continuously increase automation in multiple industries. But humanoid robots, maybe I think we're not there yet. So that's also my prediction. I think more automation, but those robots are different. I mean, sometimes it's just a mechanic arm and stuff that assembles cars, or that will definitely continue expanding. But humanoid robots in 2025, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, me too.
But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I have seen that the
We're gonna see it in a
yeah,
year.
and then talking about industries, I have seen more robots being created to help in the food chain, you know, like to farming technologies. And I have seen a really interesting robot that instead of putting pesticides in the food, there's a laser, so they kills like insects with lasers, you know. So which is pretty much interesting the way that it works. But of course, it raises some concerns about the environment and stuff. But that's another topic. So okay,
Should we go to our last topic for
yeah,
today, which is reasoning models? So I think there's a lot of talk about the next evolution of these large language models is that they're going to be reasoning models, and we discussed in prior episodes where these reasoning are not really reasoning, right? They're not really clever into solving problems. They just have been trained with all these tests, right? So we just, if you change some of the topics or the numbers of the test, they fail. So, but on the other hand, I think this technology will advance, and perhaps we'll have better models that can do better mathematical equations and can help us in in that sense. So, and they one of the cool things about these reasoning models is that you can open up their train of thought, so you can see how it actually rendered that results. And so yeah, it's good. I think that's gonna definitely increase and get better in 2025.
yeah. If it's a model that can create or break problems in small problems, let's say, and create a solution step by step or something that you can follow, that's an interesting evolution, I think, for the AI, because today you just put some prompt or you say something, it just adjusts itself. You know, it doesn't show you how was the thought behind that. You know, because probably there's no thought behind that. It's just a machine doing tasks. You know? so if we can break and mimic a little bit of our way of thinking, it might be interesting to see like, an evolution in that sense.
Yeah, 2025 is looking quite interesting.
Yeah,
So we reached the end of our predictions, random predictions of what's going to happen. So by the end of the year, we should definitely revisit this and see how much we were right or how badly wrong we were in some of those.
yeah,
But that's it. 2025 is looking very exciting. So let's see how it goes.
yeah. Let's see what's expecting us.
Awesome. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. It's free and helps us a lot. This way, it can help us also reach new listeners. Oh, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to stay up to date on our latest episodes. If you have any questions for us, reach out to us at hello@humanAIXP.com or connect with us on Instagram. Thanks for listening. See you next week.